Now, this weekend, finally, tonight, the college football playoffs get started.
It feels like Christmas.
It does. It feels like its own kind of Christmas. There's so much stuff I want to talk about with it, but I'm curious why before we get to the playoff, you wanted to point out that Ryan Day has been nominated for Coach of the Year. He's one of 16 finalists.
Yes, he's one of the 16 semifinalists for this Coach of the Year award, which is the George Munger College Coach of the Year award.
That's prestigious.
Super prestigious. But basically, if you made it into the playoff, you were on this list.
Yeah.
Everybody that made it into the playoff was on the list, as well as other teams that, outperformed expectations.
Yeah.
We'll just say that. So I'm not surprised Ryan Day is on this list, but I definitely don't feel like even he would want it at this point.
What a hilarious twist that would be. He's not going to win, right? It's going to be Indiana.
It's got to be Kurt Cignetti.
Yeah. The program with the most losses in history, and he gets them into the playoff. They only lose one game. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I do think they will lose to Notre Dame tonight.
We'll see.
We will see. That's going to be a good game in the snow, it sounds like, if we're lucky. You want to give your just preview what you're looking ahead at for these games this weekend? I feel like what I want is about a bunch of upsets. And I'm afraid what we're going to get is maybe no upsets at all.
All chalk.
Yeah, that would be less fun, particularly because Ohio State is one of the favorites. I don't want to see them win. I want chaos. I want misery. And I like Tennessee, so I want Tennessee to win. But I'm afraid that that's not going to happen.
Well, obviously, I don't want that, but I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. I think that might be probably one of the most competitive games in this first round is Ohio State, Tennessee. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. But I think I want to give Indiana some credit here. I do think they're going to be able to make this Notre Dame game close. That might not end up being what happens, but I believe in Indiana. I believe that they might be able to, muster up some strength. This has been such a big year for them. And sometimes when you go on a Cinderella run like that and you're just playing with house money, you got nothing to lose, you go out there and you give it your all, you might end up with an upset on your hands.
Maybe. I don't think Indiana has it. I think... I just think Notre Dame's really good, and I
do too.
In Indiana, the one time they went up against any team that was anywhere close to as good as Notre Dame, it was Ohio State, of course, and that was not even competitive whatsoever. There's so much I want to talk about. I'm thinking too that if you're expecting a bunch of high scoring games this weekend, I think we're actually going to get a bunch of low take the unders in a lot of these games.
Really?
If you were, I'm not telling you to bet because I don't know. they whatever. But I just think we're not going to get a bunch of points because I think with these games being such high pressure and it's the worse weather than most college games are used to.
Yep.
I think it's going to be played very conservatively in a lot of these games, and so you're not going to see a bunch of high scoring affairs. Although, if the Ohio State game is played that way, that would say even more that Ohio State, to me, is going to win.
Yeah, I think if there's any game on the slate for this first round that I could visually see it going to it's a barn burner. They're racing. It's a boat race or whatever. I think it could be that Ohio State Tennessee one.
Yeah, which it would benefit Ohio State because what they didn't do against Michigan. And what they should do, and it feels like Ryan Day sometimes, against Michigan, he wants to prove that he can run the ball and they can be physical, but that's not what they're good at.
No, they have the best receivers in the country. Throw the dang ball to them.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a slam dunk if they decide to go with a pass-happy plan.
Yeah.
That they're going to win because they still have offensive line issues.
Right.
And Will Howard still can be we don't really know. He's never been in a big game like this, truly. So. It's not a slam dunk, but it definitely, if they're going to try to run against Tennessee, I really feel like Tennessee is going to get the win. But
while you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.